You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5. Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate weekly news bulletin. You're joined by myself, Clancy Overell, and joining me, two of the great thinkers and some of the more, I guess you'd say, cemented legacies in Australian media. Two men who I work alongside, who I know, will be remembered fondly for many, many years to come after they inevitably go the same way as most journalists and develop right-wing views in their later life.
And ignoring that paper bag that comes in the mail when you turn 60. You know how you need to poo in a bag and you...
Well, they stop looking after their health.
Yeah.
They drink too much, and then they eventually start saying that the nation is out of touch, not them. They'll be remembered for much longer than that. And they are on track for that, I guess, that kind of trajectory, because they do have volatile personal lives. I guess you'd say you don't have kids, Wendell, but...
hoping to.
Errol
not far off.
Errol does, and you can see right now that there's kind of some sort of... What would you say, Errol? Your kid's... he's a bad egg.
He's a lefty. That's what he is.
Yeah, right.
He comes at me with these extremely controversial, really pig-headed views about the world, about how tearing down forests is bad. I mean, but like he still insists on writing things with a fucking typewriter. Look, I love him, but he's just a walking contradiction, like every lefty in this country.
He's got it all figured out at the ripe old age of 19, hasn't he?
He has
it all.
Mate, you know what you should do is you should take him to the pub, fill him up with piss like they used to do to us.
He doesn't drink. No one in Gen Z drinks.
Well, mate, you know what?
I'm
really
certainly
needs?
Not going to do what my dad did to me. And every time I was banging on about, equality, peace, and love, he'd take me out into the yard and flog me with a set of jumper cables.
That's what I was saying. You should do to your boy.
I can't do that because it's illegal, and I was raised in Hong Kong where it was legal.
And he's a 19-year-old man. It's a bit hard to.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he could have you? Do you reckon he could have you?
He would belt the brakes off me.
Oh my God, a lefty who can fight, that might be the world's first. He can throw hands and he drinks lattes.
He told me he wants to buy a Tesla.
In this economy?
Mate, it is the ultimate soft cockmobile, is a fucking Tesla.
Yeah, he's probably shooting blanks. Anyway, moving on.
On my rug.
I remember actually staying at your house that night when the wife kicked me out, and he was out of town, so I stayed in your
Which one was that? No,
Current wife?
No, it was a while ago. So your boy would have been about 15. I'll tell you what.
Was that Rachel or Ming?
I don't know, but I can't remember what time it was. But your kid was a teenager and he was out of town on a school camp, and those sheets nearly shattered, mate. He'd been whipping the fucking ears off it, that's for sure.
Well, he's certainly not shooting blanks then, mate.
Well, I know. I just don't know.
I don't think blank is correlated to viscosity and stickiness.
I don't know, mate. I am no urologist.
Mate, there was socks on the floor that nearly got up and walked out. Anyway, what's in the news today, Wendell?
Let's get into it. We're going to start off with a bit of a sad entertainment story here. Tracy Grimshaw has received a Hoons confiscated 1919 Pintara as a farewell present from ACA.
After 16 years, Tracy Grimshaw is pulling up stumps at ACA.
Final episode airs tonight. Yes, through her tenure with ACA, Grimshaw has single-handedly brought down thousands of dodgy landlords, tradies, workers, con artists, and jilted lovers. Also, she's done some heavier things too. Human trafficking and stuff like that. Terrorism, and dodgy mosques. She was in on them for a while. But
Outer Metro love rats.
Outer Metro, yes, those dirty Johns. Plenty of them. But she will be remembered most fondly for her tireless work, which was spent many years busting reckless hoons who, disrupt the peace with their heavily modified vehicle.
So anyway, she's been given a 32-year-old Nissan Pintara TRX. It's got slotted rotors on the front and back. No more drum brakes for Trace. It's been lowered on King Coil springs. It's got a sport steering wheel. I believe it's a Momo one. It's got dual extractors, twin pipes, and a sports exhaust with a pod filter. There you go.
Yeah, this farewell gift was given to her by the greater ACA team. It was a 1990 Pintara. It was confiscated from a young hoon that was busted by a current affair back in the early 2000s, and apparently it's a very fitting gift. Grimshaw was believed to have made the comment as she hung the arse out in the outer suburbs of Sydney this yesterday afternoon. The streets were no longer safe because she was no longer at ACA, so I guess Tracy's going to join them.
There is footage as well. Look it up. She did send it sideways when she went out of the car park. It was very, very impressive.
She's spent enough time kind of chasing these blokes. She would have definitely picked up a few tricks, drifting or dragging.
What else is making news, Wendell?
Well, we wrote a story about a very fired up local man, and the headline reads like this: "It's called bodyboarding." Shouts boogie boarder. This did quite well online, this story.
Local man Brett Houston has once again taken the bait after copping an absolute rinsing from his mates for using a boogie board.
Yeah, it's enjoying some recreational time on the sunny coast. Brett Houston has treated a couple of mates to a few giggles on the weekend, which forced him to lecture them on the correct oceancraft terminology.
"It's called a bodyboard, you fucking idiots," he said just out of earshot of the kids. This, of course, prompted his mates to continually refer to his activity as, quote, boogie boarding, because he was kicking up such stink about it.
You know it's not actually boogie boarding, said the grown man who still indulges in children's activities. It's called bodyboarding.
Yeah, he was really labouring to make that point. A noted rash shirt wearer as well. Now, we'll move on to a national story here, and Australian-made Prosecco is said to be renamed Blackout Juice after European Union winemakers have demanded change.
Producers of Prosecco, I believe it's pronounced, Wendell, in Europe are demanding local winemakers stop using that name as they look to impose similar, quote, champagne-style bans on what they see as inferior products that damage the brand.
Yes, Prosecco is produced over a large area in Italy and named after the village of Prosecco, which is in the province of Trieste. That's more or less the reason why the EU representatives say producers in Australia need to stop using the name and start calling locally made Prosecco by its real name, Blackout Juice.
Or brain varnish, liquid stroke, and aneurysm in a bottle. Those are also terms that the EU winemakers are prepared to accept.
However, one local winemaker has said the demands are rubbish. Darren Rothery is the manager of Diamantina's most awarded winery, Pogo Stick Wines. He says he's tried a lot of inferior Prosecco from the very region that's trying to monopolise the name.
Yes, he told our reporter that, quote, "We have a lot of Prosecco that is produced here in Betoota. It's won 3 gold medals at the winemaking version of the APRA Awards. Very good. It's called Woogel Aneurysm, and it retails for an affordable $8.99 a bottle down at Dan's." So I guess those Italians can go and get fucked then.
Sounds like it. That's it. That's what
the
Darren
sentiment.
reckons.
Yeah. Wrapping up with sports news now, and a lot of attention has been focused on human rights abusers Qatar this week. We wrote a story from over there, and it was about a crafty Movember play enabling the Socceroos to boost their World Cup hopes with the late arrival of a star recruit who looked suspiciously like Sam Kerr.
The Socceroos' hopes at the 2022 FIFA World Cup have been given an added boost this morning after the late arrival of a suspicious new player.
Coming up against the likes of Denmark and Tunisia in the group stage of the tournament after being bounced by the French, the Football Roos are facing the prospect of leaving Qatar after 1 week of tournament football.
It's believed the Socceroos have been able to parachute in a 5'6" weapon who goes by the name of Cam Sir.
That's right, Australia's greatest football has rocked up at training, hoping that a crafty little moustache will see her able to take the field for the Socceroos.
I sure fucking hope she can.
She scores goals for fun, and we need goals. Otherwise, we're not going to have much fun, and we'll be going home after a week.
Yeah, it'll be tough for us to win the World Cup at this tournament, I think.
Yeah, who would have thought, hey?
We just need a better team that has a better coach with some better players, and we might be in with a shot.
Yeah, we need the quality of like Barcelona players, and we need to play like them, and then we can win the World Cup. It's pretty simple, really.
It is simple.
I don't know how it's so hard to figure out. Anyway,
they're all going to rugby league, mate.
That's it for the week in news, I think.
It is, mate. Let's get out of here. I am thirsty.
Hooroo!